Welcome. Thank you for joining us here today as we celebrate the mission to remember the fallen, honor those that serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. We ask that to start the event, you all please join with me in a moment of silence to remember the fallen, prisoners of war, those missing in action, and honor those that have served and are serving this great nation's armed services. I'd like to ask all the Scouts to come up now and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you all for joining us here today. This year, across the country, at more than 3,200 participating locations like this one, there are millions of Americans gathering safely as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are all proud to be Americans that live in a free society made up of many people from many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us and in cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We are free to vote for the leaders of our choosing, and we have the right to succeed, and we have the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who have had and continue to fight to protect the innocent and oppressed. This nation has always been the first to stand up for the freedom of people from around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. For this we say thank you, and we are honored to know you. There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and in places far away, that most of us have never heard of. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they make each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Quoting our 40th United States President Ronald Reagan, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free. Today we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Now, former Army Sergeant Bree Lacker will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving the United States Army.
Damn, freak that up!
Now, U.S. Army Corps Captain retired Joe DeBillio will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. Now, electrician's mate, first-class submarines retired Douglas Wood will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. Now, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel retired Wayne Floyd will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Now, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel retired Wayne Floyd will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of those who are serving in the United States Space Force. Now, U.S. Coast Guard Captain retired Robert Eddy will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Now, Lieutenant Junior Grade Jim Gozo and Third Mate Marie France Gozo will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marines. Now, U.S. Navy Senior Chief Petty Officer retired Terry Stater will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of the 93,000 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoner of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes. We shall not forget you. Please help me welcome our speaker today, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Wayne Floyd.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you all for coming today. This is going to compete for the world's shortest speech, I promise you, because I thought that there were going to be many of us talking. So I just want to say it is good and right for us to be here today to do this activity that we're doing here with Wreaths across America. It just seems like, with the modern pressures of today's world, that increasingly we get encouraged to perhaps not do things that build up community or build up each other. And in being here today, we're making a pretty clear statement about the value of that community, about the value of building each other up, about the value of remembering sacrifice. This has a pretty personal note for me. I fully intend that this will become my longer-term earthly residence at some point, somewhere over there, where my son is buried. And it's pretty neat to think about the idea that future generations might come here on a cold Saturday, December morning and lay a wreath over there in that section of the cemetery. So I want to say that in doing so, we are affirming that the values of community are important and worthy of praise, and that the sacrifices that we're remembering are worthy of that remembrance. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. And especially thank Robin and the Wreaths Across America folks for making this all possible. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Wayne. We encourage every volunteer here today who places a wreath on a veteran's grave to say that veteran's name aloud and take a moment to thank them for their service to our country. It's a small act that goes a long way toward keeping the memory of our veterans alive. Remember, we are not here to decorate graves. We are here to remember not their deaths, but their lives. Each wreath is a gift of appreciation from a grateful America. These live balsam fir wreaths symbolize our honor to those who have served and are serving in the armed forces of our great nation, and to their families who endure sacrifice every day on our behalf. To our children, we want you to understand that the freedoms you enjoy today have not been free, but have come at a cost that someday you may have to pay yourself. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thanks to our veterans, we have the freedom to do just that.